Okay, then MJ Sewall sent in, hey, Manly Matt, several eBay auctions ended today of Dave's original art. They were being sold by, presumably, George Santillan Ahumada. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. All pieces for sale were signed to him. The 7 pieces went for between $1,175 and $2,075 respectively. The cover to number 152 sold for $7,601! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. And let me second the motion on those exclamation marks. You know, Gerhard and I got nowhere near $7,600 when we sold that one. You probably already talked to Dave for Please Hold, but I thought you and he'd like to know. Yes, definitely. Thank you. Thank you, Mike. I won 2 of the auctions. I am thrilled. I've already sent word to the Art Hunt email. Note copied below for details if interested. Cheers, MJ Mike Sewall. To the Art Hunt email earlier today. Hello there. I just won 2 eBay auctions. I'm still in an excited dither, and they are not in hand yet. The art pieces are issue 102, pages 14 and 15, issue 112, 113, page 8, from 1988. The issue 102 that we auctioned that at the Mid-Ohio Con for charity, the complete issue that was all double-page spreads. So the provenance goes back at least to then, 1987. I don't know if these pieces have already been scanned or not. A firm believer in the project and supporter of Dave's work, I'm happy to help. What is the process for getting these scanned? Mike, the easiest thing that you could do with that is, if you don't have a scanner yourself, you don't know somebody who does have a scanner, would be to take them to a local print shop, Kinko's, FedEx, or one of those places, and tell them that you need a digital scan of them, RGB. My mind's going blank. What's the dots per inch that we usually do on that?
I believe the official request is 600 DPI, but Sean wouldn't say no to a 1200 DPI.
Right. So, and I think 700 is sort of the Goldilocks spot if you're looking for a Goldilocks spot. So if you tell any place that has a top grade scanner, all you need is an RGB 1000 or 700 dots per inch digital scan of these pages, and then from there just email them to the Art Hunt address, and if there's any kind of problem with them, I'm sure Sean will check them right away and say, this one should probably be redone, and this is why it needs to be redone. Then we heard from Mike again, and thank you for Mike for volunteering to scan them. It sounds like we're go for Kevin H. in Denton, Texas, just north of Dallas, to get him a scanner that he will be our man on the scene for heritage auctions.
No. The official announcement was high-end auction house. We're not supposed to name names, I guess? I don't know. That was the email I got from Eddie, said high-end auction house.
Okay. Somewhere in Texas. Okay, we'll leave that alone.
We're proud of our Texas heritage.
That's right. We're deep in the heart of Texas. We're all yellow roses at Cerebus.com. Yeah, we'll just leave that alone.
Well,
amputate amputate everything that I just said on that.
No.
And,
Well, I mean, it's one of those. It's very swordfishy. Of we all know what the password is.
right.
I mean, yeah, it is heritage, and it's because of something we're going to get to in a little bit, I'm sure.
The fact that it's all of service number 4.
Yeah, that was not Wendell. What is it? Wendon? I believe his name is Wendon Adams, who works for Heritage, is a member of the service Facebook group, and when an original page of art comes across his desk, he takes a picture and posts it going, "Look what's at my desk today." And Sean goes, "Can I get a scan of that?" And it's, "Well, actually, you got to talk to so-and-so." And Sean's just like, "Please let us have a good scan," because they're taking a picture, but it's not the quality that a 6 or 1200 DPI scan is. And I guess this issue was finally the point where Sean got a hold of somebody at Heritage, went, "What do we have to do to get it?" And they were saying, "Well, we don't do that." And it's well, what do we have to do that? And apparently it's buy a scanner and have somebody come and we'll let them scan it.
Right.
And
right.
my particular Don Quixote concept of, hey, let's the Mickey Rooney, hey everybody, let's buy an issue of service idea, let's all pool our money, win the auction, send it back home, and turn it into, well, hey, since we're buying this scanner, anybody want to help pay for it? And I think the last I heard was that we're up to like $900 that has been donated to pay for it.
That's terrific. That's terrific, because I said that Aardvark and I would pay the balance of whatever money wasn't raised.
And I
think Sean found the scanner that I use and Gerhard uses and Sean uses used on eBay somewhere for $850 or something like that.
I think it was with shipping and everything. I think it's $1,000 or $1,050 or something like that. And Eddie told me when he sent me a message going, "Hey, you can tell everybody on Amuck and Facebook this," and I'm like, okay. And I've been beating the drum of, hey everybody, if you want to help out, this is send Sean the money to this PayPal. And in fact, Larry Wooten sent me an email that he already gave $100 and now he's sending another $100 because Larry loves helping out.
Yes, there's no question about that. You're talking about Weldon Adams.
Yeah, it is Weldon.
Yeah. He used to work at one of the Texas comic stores. I'm trying to remember which one. It was either Camelot or I think it was Camelot. He was sort of like the sidekick guy. So Weldon goes way back in the Cerebus context, and a good guy to have on site. So. Yeah, very, very, very exciting that we will have that capability, and we'll just hope that there's more comic pages come available. How is the fundraising going for the complete Cerebus number 4? You said it was up to 6,000.
Yeah, that's pretty much where it's plateaued because. It became this logistical nightmare of, I said, hey, let's, if we all pool our money together, we can probably get the $50,000 I estimated it's going to go for. Because it's 22 pages. If it's $2,000, if there's $2,000 a page, it'll be at least $48,000. So about 50. And people, it was, I'm interested, but if I do it, I want a page. And it's like, okay, well, the idea was we're sending everything back, but okay. As I repeatedly say when it comes up, I'm like, all right, money talks, bullshit walks. If you give the most money and you want a page, we will let you have a page. And then it became, okay, because Larry Wooten kicked in 2078.11.
Wow.
2000 for the page, 78 for the year that the issue came out, and 11 cents for his can number. And he was top dog, and he wants the pages to go back to you. And I'm like, okay, so, and I'm being, there's no holding anything, playing my cards close to my vest. I'm being as open and honest, because it's Aardvark Vanheim. Open and honesty is pretty much what we do. And so it's okay.
Because we're so bad at lying and dissembling.
Well, that's part of it. I mean, I'm sure you were great at lying back when you drew Service number 4 in 1978. But I think you've seen the era of lying and have had that come to Jesus moment of, hey, let's just tell the truth. I mean, when you're broke, you're broke. When you're not broke, hey, I can eat good cat food. I mean, we've been saying this for a couple of years now. So it was I've been open of, okay, I gotta donate. I haven't necessarily been saying names because I'm willing to let it be anonymous. But somebody donates 2078.11. They want the art to go back to Dave, and somebody on Facebook went, well, I'm willing to kick in $2,000, but I want to keep a page. And I'm like, well, okay, well. So the deal became, highest money in gets first pick, and if we win, because that's the big, everything is dependent on if we can win, this is what I'll do. So the plan initially was send it back to Dave after scanning it, and everybody gets a Service Archive portfolio 1.4 of all 22 pages and the recreated cover, and everybody's going, behind the scenes, the Service and Hull guys are going, and Eddie are going, so who's paying for this? And I'm like, we got to win the auction first. I'm going to burn that bridge when I get to it. That's Future Matt's problem, and I hate that guy.
Right.
So the initial deal was, it's all going back to you. Then it was, okay, money talks, bullshit walks. The more money you give determines what happens. If you give more money than the highest pledger, you become the new high pledger, and if you want a page and you want everybody to physically keep the art, fine. We will just determine a way of splitting the 22 pages among everybody. And then, because all I'm trying to do is goose people to say, yes, I will throw money in. So then at one point it was, if we can get more than 22 people, it'll become a lottery based on how much you give. And if you give less than 2,000, you can still get a chance to earn a page by giving more than everybody else. And that didn't spark anybody's interest. I honestly think everybody's going, checking the couch cushions for how much money do I have personally so I can outbid Matt and his band of merry idiots. And it's one of those, I'm like, I know this is good. I know this auction's probably going to get real high because it's 22 pages, or technically 23 pages of art, and somebody with, as you so eloquently put it at the end of the Konigsberg section of Latter Days, some Yenta with more money than brains is going to buy this. And and probably, because the first thing I said when I heard about it was, why are they doing it as one lot instead of 23 individual lots? And Weldon came back with that he's not handling this particular auction, but from what he understands, this is what the seller wants. They just want to do one lot, that's, get it all done. Which leads me to believe this is probably an estate deal where somebody owned this, they died, they don't know what to do with it, and somebody else said, well, put it up for auction.
Right.
But
I do take issue with the complete issue package, which Heritage Auctions has done with other stuff. I always think to myself, however much money that you're going to get by selling this large package as one unit, you're going to make more with the first Elrod page kind of thing. exponentially more, and then the rest of the pages really become gravy at that point. But Heritage Auctions is the experts on this, so it is.
And
they do tend to do that, and I know that Dennis Kitchen did the same thing when he was selling Will Eisner's spirit sections. That he would only sell stories intact, 8 pages at a time, rather than selling the pages individually. Those are now starting to, individual pages are starting to get sold, but it's kind of a long process. Harry Kremer bought both of those. Harry Kremer bought number 4 and number 6, which are the only 2 intact issues of the early issues. And I got a grand total of $220 for each complete issue, because that's about what they were worth at the time. Harry will give me $10 a page if he can have all of the pages.
And if I remember correctly from an old blog and mail, and then you went and spent that $220 on marijuana and smoked. Yes,
the most expensive marijuana baggies ever purchased by a comic book artist.
Well, specifically, I remember an old blog and mail where you were, I think it was the beginning of the art hunt, and you were saying, issue 8 doesn't exist in the archive because somebody wanted to get high.
Yeah.
So if 4 went to Harry, now I kind of wonder who's selling it, because I think when 6 sold, it sold. I think there was another auction of the entire issue's worth of art, and now that I think about it, I think it was issue 6. I'm gonna have to look back.
Yeah, that's a Kitchener scandal of what happened to Harry's artwork after Harry died, and there's no real answer to that one. Just kind of, well, okay, we're never going to find out. Nobody's going to fess up to anything, so you just have to, unfortunately, become philosophical about it. Mike had another question. Where did your... how much did service cost to produce per page or per issue? Pens, ink, artboards, ISBN number, not free, printing cost per book, all of it. That would have changed over time. The pen nibs, box of pen nibs, 50 cents each. Garrett and I, between us, wouldn't go through a box of pen nibs on an issue, I don't think, depending on how the pen nibs were working. So that was a couple of bucks. Ink, amortized probably across several issues, letting the ink evaporate so that it became darker, replenishing it out of the master bottle of ink. We both had master bottles of ink. Those are about $20 for a large size bottle of ink, which would probably last us 2 years, 3 years. The artboards, the artboards that we were using most of the time, they came on large sheets where I think we got 4 or 5 pages out of each sheet, and each sheet of illustration board probably cost about $10, $15. So you're talking about $4 per page. The ISSN number, which is what it would be on the comic book, I don't think that was. That's not free now, but it was free at that time. That was something that the government subsidized. All you had to do was tell the National Library that this is what you're publishing and send 2 copies to the National Library, and you could just apply for an ISSN number. The ISBN number, that was on the trade paperbacks. That would be a different category. Printing cost per book, all of it. There's a certain amount of that in the Cerebus archive. I've been meaning to take Denny's sales book for 1977 and get that scanned and sent to you at a moment of Cerebus, because it definitely shows sales figures for issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who was paying on time, what discount that they were getting, all of those kinds of things, and stuff that I had forgotten. An invoice for commercial artwork that I did for Victoria Bolorama here in town, which doesn't exist anymore, but was a going concern when Penny was also my commercial art agent, and I have no idea what that is. What artwork I did for them and what they used it for. No copies in the Cerebus archive. This is the first I heard of it when I just happened to flip through the book, which is in the Cerebus archive 8.5 by 11 and smaller category. That's something that I want to get to. Printing cost per book is, I do have a record of that, Denny's ledger from that time period, and I can try and rustle that up to let you know exactly what each of the early issues cost to print. Got a canceled check for the printing of Cerebus #1, and I think it's $500, $570 to print all 2,000 copies. And then Mike Sewell again. Hello again, Mike. Hey, Manly Matt, sorry to bother you. I plan to buy a collected letters of Dave Sem when I can find one, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Do you know if AV/Dave has any still for sale? I'd rather have any money go directly to Dave. And yes, we do have copies of both. We have more copies of Volume 1 than of Volume 2. Volume 1 was $35. Volume 2, I think, was $20 cover price. And Rolly was in today, and I asked him, what would it cost, just off the top of your head, to ship Volume 1 and Volume 2 together? And he said ballpark between $20 and $30 Canadian, probably closer to $30 than to $20. And okay, that brings us to the end. I will say, Mike, you don't have to spend money for collected letters, Volume 1 and Volume 2. You sent me a wonderful gift, which Rolly picked up at the post office on Wednesday. I'm not going to spoil what the gift is and your cover letter that came with it, but it's definitely a really, really cool. Dave Sem hasn't got one of these, and is reet chuffed that he's now got one of these. So that will be a weekly update coming up ahead. Thanking you for that. And the other way I'm going to thank you is by sending you a personalized autographed copy of Collected Letters Volume 1 and Volume 2. But anybody else that wants Collected Letters Volume 1 or Volume 2, like I say, the shipping costs for the two of them together would be about $30 Canadian. So knock $5 off of that for the exchange rate, and just whatever you would want to pay for collected letters, Volume 1 and Volume 2. It's not as if they're terrifically rare around here, and I can personalize them or just sign them and send those out to you. The shipping costs are the primary concern, so it would be $30 shipping, and then if like Mike, you want AV/Dave to have the money, just send as much money for the book as you're sending for the postage, and I will consider myself and AV well compensated.
And there's still 4 of 1 and 10 of 2, or is that not count? Or is that counting the ones you're sending to Mike?
I'm sorry, I didn't follow that.
So how many copies of Volume 1 does AV have for this offer?
Way too many. It's the book that we have the most of. It's the book that Diamond ordered in a specific quantity, and it took them so long to sell them. How long did it take them to sell them? It took them so long to sell them that they refused to list them as being available from Diamond, and would not allow me to solicit for copies of Collected Letters. 2004 is the actual title, Volume 1. But it's one of those weird things where it's now 16 years later, and I'm thinking I am going to make up a solicitation for Collected Letters, an autographed copy, and do it at the original cover price of $35, and send the solicitation to Diamond and see A, if they will list it, and B, how many people go, wow, I've been looking for this for a long time, and here it is. It's actually available, and who knows? It could turn into a big seller.
Well,
I mean, the same thing happened with the animated Cerebus portfolio. It's like, I don't know, you want to buy 500 of them and make a coffee table out of them, and then it's like, well, no, it's that many years later on, and this is now this thing that you never thought you would ever be able to get rid of is now a rare collector's item.
If you have Rolly send me a list of what AV physically has that you maybe want to get rid of, let me know, and I will let people know. If okay, like I'm just trying to the Service Guide to Self-Publishing, the original edition. If you have any of those left, or any of the stuff.
No, not good. Yeah. I will specify that for Rolly. It's like, what we've got way too many of. Definitely let Matt know about those. The Guide to Self-Publishing, I've only got the archived copies of the original comic book size printing, and I've got maybe like 13 of the
revised, expanded.
Yeah, the expanded trade paperback edition. I forget what the mix is on the Cerebus and the Ticking Clock cover, and the Cerebus Berserker Coming Through the Wall version of the cover. But that was another one of those that sold like, okay, but this is not top of my list to bring this back into print. But yeah, I will definitely make a note here to ask Rolly anything that we've got in significant quantities that might be rare for everybody else. Let Matt Dow know what they are, and he can start beating the bushes for sale.
I still remember the time I called Aardvark Vanaheim and a guy answered the phone, and I asked for you, and it was, oh, hold on a minute, and then he came on the phone, and I ordered the Guide to Self-Publishing, and I sent the check, and then Gerhard, because that was when I did the coffee mugs, and Gerhard wanted a mug for Margaret, and I never charged him, because if the guy that created it wants me to do something, I'm not going to say, oh, give me $30 or whatever. You know, I just sent it to her gratis as, hey, thanks for letting me make mugs. And Gerhard, being Gerhard, was, well, we got to pay Matt, so you had signed and sent me the guide, and then Gerhard had went, I know how I'll pay Matt back. We'll send him his check back and give him a signed and sketched copy of the guide. And on the envelope you wrote, I didn't have the heart to tell Gerhard I already sent you one, so this will be our little secret.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I still have that copy with the envelope, and it's one of those, it's like, you know, part of me goes, oh, I should put this in the box with all my service stuff, and part of me's like, yeah, but the envelope doesn't fit in the box, so no, it's going to go in the stack of envelopes.
There you go. Okay, that's a wrap then, Matt.
Yes, I will start beating the drums on Pieces of Turtle 8.2, and as of Saturday, the money will just pour in like a hole in the roof when it's raining.
Terrific.
And while I'm dreaming, I'd like a pony.
Okay. Well, you'll have to talk to Ronald Reagan about that. Have a good night, Matt.
You too, Dave. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
So, to reiterate, at the very end of Please Hold for Dave Sim, since Little Orphan Aardvark didn't get a message to me this month, although she was really thinking about it, Pieces of Turtle 8.2, the second Pieces of Turtle 8 fanzine, which is completed, signed off, and going to be available on servicedownloads.com as of Saturday for me, right now well, actually tomorrow for you, since I'm probably going to get these videos up on Friday. But the blog post will go up on Saturday, so third base. Anyway, Pieces of Turtle 8.2 on servicedownload.com. And what's the price? One copy for $25 Canadian. 5 copies for $75 Canadian, and 10 copies for $125 Canadian. And the sale starts Saturday and will end whenever we decide it ends. I think Dave's vote idea is probably gonna be the best idea, so once you get yours, you can vote and say, okay, we're done, stop, and everybody else will cry and whine, and then you can sell your 9 extra copies for hundreds of dollars and be turtle profiteers like I was. I don't know how many I'm going to buy this time. That's going to be something I'll have to figure out. But yeah, so that is deal number 1. Pieces of Turtle 8.2, servicedownloads.com, Saturday, May 7th until at least Saturday, May 14th, possibly longer. Second deal for all of you lovely listeners listening to my stupid voice is Collected Letters Volume 1 and 2 from Aardvark Vanaheim, signed and personalized by Dave, if you want it signed and personalized. $30 shipping, and whatever free will offering you want to pay for it, I would suggest at least $30 a copy, depending on if you want the first one or the second one, since the first one's the big thick phone book and the second one's the little not big thick phone book. I'm in the first one, I know. I'm between Dostoevsky and Dragon Ball Z, right where I belong. And then the third offer that isn't an offer yet, because I don't know what's for sale, is anything else Aardvark Vanaheim has clogging up the hallways that they just don't want anymore, for however much Dave wants for it when I get the list. I'm sure it'll be a fun list of there's this and there's this and there's this, and everybody's going to go, I've been looking for that for hundreds of years. So as soon as I know and I get a post up, I'll let you know. Thanks for listening to Please Hold for Dave Sim. Margaret, I'm sorry I gave the details of the heist away, but hopefully you got away with it. Remember, I need that copy of Batman 14 because there's only 4 in existence, and I'm looking for the other 3. Last one out, turn out the lights. If you want to donate the monies or pledge money for the buying service number 4, the original art, you can send an email to momentofservice@gmail.com or thevarkwars@gmail.com or one of my 4 other email addresses because I'm a freak that has way too many email addresses. You got anything to say, Kat? No. Kat doesn't got nothing to say. Again, thanks for listening. This is the part where you're supposed to say like, share, subscribe, but I don't do that because I don't believe in it. If you're the guy, 1,500 Service Online subscriber, and you're listening to this for some reason, you should call Dave at his phone number that I'll put up on the screen when I make the video for this. And for the audio fans, that number is the number that Dave just called me from that everybody should know by heart. Okay, I'll look it up. Just give me a second. People. Number. What is it? 1-519-576-0610. So call and Dave's answering machine will answer, and you can leave a message, and Dave will get back to you. If you are the 1,500 YouTube Service Online subscriber, Anton, I think your name's Anton. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I'm not looking because I don't print out notes. We wing this. Anyway, again, thank you for listening. And I'm just, at this point, padding it out because I get paid every time somebody listens to the entire thing. All right, last one out. Turn out the lights. Don't take any wooden nickels, and don't piss up wind. Bye.